One big misunderstanding when it comes to health is that health is simple. And it's really not. You see, most of us base menu decisions on health on things that may not be a total truth. We're told that all you really have to do is eat right, right? But when choosing to eat right, very often we use something called the recommended dietary allowance to make our decisions. As a matter of fact, food labels are based on the RDA, and we would think that if we eat 100% of every nutrient that was on there, we would have a relatively healthy life. However, according to the former chair of the RDAs are not recommendations for the ideal diet. The term recommended allowance is used to avoid any implication of optimal requirements. Wonder what that means? Understand that the government's language can be a little confusing. Let's explain. When we're looking at the food label, we're aiming for 100% of our vitamins and minerals. But even if we did get 100%, which most people do not, we would not be healthy. Those guidelines are really only there to help prevent things like scurvy and rickets. They were never meant to make us healthy. And food labels may not be as accurate as you think they are. As a matter of fact, we are pretty sure they're not. Food labels are allowed to be up to 20% off what is in the package. This, of course, begs the question, are they really that far off? Luckily, abcnews.com did a study and found out. On April 7th in 2008, ABC News pulled 12 different foods off the shelf and found out that all 12 were more than 20% off by at least one nutrient. 3 that were over 20% were Ritz crackers with 36% more sodium, Wonder Bread with 70% more total fat, and David's sunflower seeds with 23% more saturated fat. In case you missed the middle one, Wonder Bread had 70% more total fat than was on their label. But at least we understand the marketing. With that much fat, you have to wonder, is it bread? We pride ourselves on research, and a little more was done to see if things have gotten better since that study in 2008. And lo and behold, they have not. In January of 2013, Good Morning America ran a story where now they say companies are committing food fraud. For example, you may be looking at paprika. When looking at that spice, you want a bright red color, so you pick the best looking one. It turns out that paprika may have artificial chemical dyes that are not on the label to make it look like the best choice. And that's not all. They found out that much of the extra virgin olive oil they tested wasn't really extra virgin olive oil. There might have been a little olive oil in there, but many of these were found to be largely canola oil. Even the way we farm is much different than it used to be. This is a modern-day commercial farm. We do not see a whole lot of green pastures for them to graze on. What do all those cattle eat? Now, most people are aware that unless it says grass-fed, it probably isn't. And what most people think is, instead, those cattle are fed a diet of grain, the grain normally being soy or corn. And that's partially true, but to understand the whole truth, you need to understand the great circle of food. What they do is they get the cow, take all the prime cuts of that, and sell that off to the market. All of the leftover scraps have to be used. Now, what can be done with the leftover scraps and the bone meal? Well, that can be ground all together and then fed to our chickens. Chickens eating cow and bone. Certainly not the way it was meant to be. Now, those chicken, of course, are going to have a lot of waste and excrement. And we don't exactly want to dispose of that either. No, we want to recycle and reuse or make a really cheap food-like substance. This mixture of chicken manure, sometimes dead chickens, feathers, and spilled feed is rendered into a uniform substance that is then called chicken litter. What is done with this chicken litter, or poultry litter as it's known in the industry? It is mixed with grain and fed right back to our cattle. So now, we eat cattle that are eating chicken litter, manure, and possibly dead chicken parts, what they were never meant to eat. And don't forget, those chickens were first fed cow and cow bone meal. If you think what our animals eat is gross, think about what we eat. Does this look familiar to you? If not, don't worry. We'll turn that into this. You've probably seen this before. It just doesn't look like this picture. It looks more like this. Yes, a chicken nugget. Now don't worry, not all chicken nuggets are this pink chemical slimy mixture. No, this is mechanically separated chicken. You also may have had mechanically separated pork, or mechanically separated beef, or all three of them mixed together in what is commonly known as a hot dog. What is actually done is to take off all the prime cuts and sell those. Then take the actual carcass and scrape everything off, or put it in a centrifuge and spin the meat right off the bone. They mix all that together into this, and then spray it with ammonia to deal with the E. coli and salmonella count, which tends to go up when you process meat in this way. That mixture is then breaded, fried, and served to us as chicken patties or chicken nuggets, or hot dogs, or pre-formed little hamburger patties. Remember, you're looking for the key words, mechanically separated. Yes, they do spray it with ammonia, but not to worry. They add artificial chicken flavoring, or if you're lucky, natural chicken flavoring to make it actually taste like chicken again. Keep in mind, there is nothing natural about this natural chicken flavoring. Some people may say, well, I don't eat a lot of meat in general. I turn more towards vegetables and other products. Many of us eat a diet that is comprised mainly of corn. If we look at ingredient labels, we will see corn in almost everything. This shows nutritional comparison of cornmeal from an heirloom variety to a more conventional cornmeal variety today. You can see the protein content has gone down, the fiber has gone down tremendously, as have many of the vitamins and minerals. As a matter of fact, over the last 50 years, the amount of protein, calcium, phosphorus, iron, riboflavin, and vitamin C in conventionally grown foods and vegetables has declined. Even wheat has about half the protein it used to have. This is why you may want to look into a good, high-quality multivitamin. Without nutrients, there are a lot of things in your body that just don't go right. Not only does a good multivitamin help to support the immune system and cardiovascular function, it does something that's pretty critical. It helps turn your food into energy. Another thing that we know is that a lot of people tend to overeat, and that is for a pretty good reason. If you're eating and eating but not getting any nutrients, your brain may not ever say, stop, until your stomach is so full that it just can't take any more. At that point, it sends the signal to the brain that says, I'm full, you need to stop eating. The brain stops, but a half hour, an hour later, you're hungry again. And you may wonder, how is that possible? How can I eat till I'm stuffed and then be hungry again a half hour later? That's because if your body does not have the nutrients it needs, it is going to keep sending the signal to continue to eat. Furthermore, if you take certain prescription or over-the-counter drugs, they may gobble up vitamins. Just something as simple as an antacid might affect your B vitamins, calcium, iron, and zinc levels. Therefore, it's even more important if you take over-the-counter medications or prescription medications to get certain nutrients into your body.